Hey team, welcome to our first ELA classroom activity for this weird kind of break that we are on. That being said, this week is going to be very much review, and we'll get into some newer stuff next week based off of your survey results. That brings me to my first direction on your warm-up. If you look, it will look, a lot of things are going to look very similar as much as possible to what you would see in our typical classroom. That being said, you see a grid like you normally would to practice vocabulary, but you'll also see in the directions that it says to complete our classroom survey here, and here is a link. I'm going to pause right now so that if you haven't already done the warm-up activity, you can just pause the video and do that and take care of your survey right now. Okay, I'm going to keep going for those who are done with their warm-up. Again, make sure that you have already done that survey activity. Shout out to several people who have already done it as of the time of taping on this Friday. Looks like there's about 21 of you who've done it so far. Shout out to Devin, Tiana, Romaya, Trinity, Jalen Williams, Presley, Jordan, Lavariana, Faith Reeves, Kalia, JC, Tariana, Marquise, Artenise, Shalia, Mikey, Christian, Kiman, Robert, Ramil, Deshauna, and Dasani, who have all done it so far. And I'm sure more of you will do it after I've finished taping this. Again, make sure you get that done. And here are your answers for our warm-up. 1, proffer, the matching letter is E. 2, upheaval, matching letter is I. 3, apprehension, matching letter is G. 4, specious, matching letter is A. 5, lull, matching letter is J. 6, effulgent, matching letter is B. 7, interpose, matching letter is H. 8, strident, matching letter is C. 9, furtive, matching letter is D. And 10, pliant, matching letter is F. If you need a second to catch up or go back, go ahead and pause it here. Go back about 30 seconds and double check and make sure you have that correct. It is the vocab words from last week. Check that vocab packet if you need another place to be. Aim for today is KIPPsters will be able to use context clues and affixes to determine meanings of new words and make predictions about what they read. As you can tell from the title of your classwork document, we are going to be starting a story called The Veldt, and it'll be organized all underneath that topic if you search by topic within Google Classroom. Today is just going over some vocabulary and practicing some context clues and different ways of breaking down roots, prefixes, suffixes to understand words you might not recognize. Again, most of that is review for us. And then making a prediction about what we think the story will be about. Tomorrow we'll actually read the story. Also, I know some of you might be wondering if I'll be assigning homework outside of this classwork. I won't. I might ask you to take some surveys from time to time outside of classwork, but that would really be it. Anything I want you to do is going to be embedded in this classwork document and within the exit tickets. Okay, go ahead and scroll to the notes parts just below the aim. As I said in the written directions for the warm-up and as they're written right here, these are the most important notes and steps that you're going to need for today. If you haven't already set up a notebook that you're going to use to keep track of these things, I know a lot of us do like just typing in the document for digital. That's by and far easier for me to grade. But when it comes to your notes, at the very least, I want you to have a notebook set up where you can write down the notes, because studies show, I'm not just saying this, that when you copy them down, when you hand write things out, it helps you remember them better. And it'll allow you to go back to them easier. And that's actually an advantage we have in this digital learning situation that we're in that you normally wouldn't when you're passing in classwork packets. So I'll give you a second. I'll pause right here if you need to go get a notebook or some paper to write things down. That also being said, Ms. Valerio is giving out notebooks at food distribution, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every weekday at the school. If you do need a notebook, you can grab one from her. Those are waiting for you in case you need them for this case. Just pausing a second in case you need to. Okay, I'm going to start with vocab. 2 of these words our review. One is new, and just so that you can understand the story better and make a better prediction for tomorrow. Our vocabulary, Veldt, V-E-L-D-T, and you can see this under the notes section to make it easier to copy. Veldt means grassland, and it's typically in Africa. You can click on that link. You can see it's blue to see here for examples if you want a visual. Just a basic grassland, and it is going to be referring to a grassland in Africa in our story. The next two are those review skill words, context clues, so parts of the text that help us make an inference about the real meaning of a word. And affixes, an affix is a breakdown of the different parts of a word. So that an affix can also refer to prefix, suffix, or root words. So all three of those things that you've heard before, prefix, suffix, and root words, they all fall underneath the wording of affix. How to determine meanings of words. This is going to be review, but how I want you to annotate for it is not going to feel like review since we are working through this digital situation that we're in. We know the first step is that we circle the word in the text. Since we're going to be working on a computer, you are going to double click on the word and then bold the word. You can either hit Control or Command if you're on a Mac, B to bold something, or you can go to the middle of the taskbar at the top of Google Docs and hit the B next to the italics, next to the underline. Then you underline the sentence before, after the word, and containing the word. Again, to underline, you double click or highlight the area you want underlined, and you can go to the middle of the taskbar and hit the U with the line underneath it, or you can hit Control U or Command U if you are on a Mac. Since today we're going to be working with very short blurbs, we're just going to underline very specific words that stand out to us, okay? Then you would normally write a gist. What are these sentences about? You can choose to use the comment tool in Docs, or you can write it in the box that I provided below for your explanation. That's what I am going to do while we go through this example. That being said, the last step is going to be putting a note in the margin. Normally, again, next to our gist, we make a note in the margin. We would then note if there were any affixes, a prefix, a suffix, a root word that we already knew to try and break down this word. Again, instead of using notes in the margin, I'm going to use that explanation box to break that kind of stuff down. If you need more time to copy these notes, go ahead and pause here. Otherwise, I'm going to be scrolling down and moving on to practice 1. Picking up at practice 1. Looking at that first question, I'm going to read the text there for you. Now the hidden odor phonics were beginning to blow a wind of odor at the two people in the middle of the baked Veldt land. The hot straw smell of lying grass, the cool green smell of the hidden watering hole, and the great rusty smell of animals. The smell of dust like a red paprika in the hot air. So, because in the question, it does ask, what does the word odor phonics mean? I'm then going to double click on odor phonics. Sorry, guys, getting used to using the new technology myself. I'm going to double click on odor phonics. So wait. Sorry, I thought I was going to be able to flip it to show you. Give me a second. I'll show you what it looks like at the end. But you double click on your odor phonics. You bold that word by hitting Command B, Control B, or again, the bold function in the middle of the taskbar. And then we read around it. So now the hidden odor phonics, so something that you're not necessarily aware is happening. We're beginning to blow a wind of odor. I'm going to underline wind of odor at the two people in the middle of the baked Veldt land. The hot straw smell. Again, smell is coming up. The cool green smell. Again, another smell, underlining that. And of the hidden watering hole, the great rusty smell of animals. More about smells, and the smell of dust like a red paprika in the hot air. So I'm just going to show you what we have so far. Flipping it around. You guys can see We have that bolded, those things underlined. Going on to the question. So, I'm going to actually add those just into that bottom box before we move on. So I wrote down things like blow a wind of odor, smell of the lion grass, and then I'm going to break down the affixes in this. So odor, phonics. So I see the word odor and I see the word phonics. We know odor refers to smell, just like we can see all of the different information about smell that we put in. And then phonics, if you don't know, phonics refers to sound in that root word there. So we know this has to do with smells and sounds at the very least. It does talk about a lot of different things that they can see, smell, and evidently we can hear based on the breakdown of the word. So again, I've just added those things. I hope this is working for you guys. To the box. I promise I'll get better at this.